Welcome everybody back to Strike Team Gaming Presents G4 Experience. We're going to continue our topic of conversation on the Halo franchise. It seems to be a topic of conversation that everybody seems to have a well-versed knowledge in, and that is a very, very good thing. We're going to go ahead and continue talking. Last we left off, we were talking about Halo Reach and the expansive franchise that it is. We're going to continue on talking about that. The next game on our list, actually, are we ready to go? Everybody ready?
Yeah, I believe I am.
I think so, yeah.
Sweet. The next game on the list, if I burn through all the tabs I have open, is going to be... So we have now crossed the realm of consoles. We are no longer on Xbox 360. We have now moved to the next generation of consoles. And in this case, it would be... I show on the screen Halo 4. But as far as Google is concerned, the next release in the Halo timeline was the remastered Halo Combat Evolve, which what they called Halo Combat Evolve Anniversary. This released November 15th, 2011, and this was the first of games by 343 Industries, no longer called Bungie. Bungie proceeded to send their focus over to Destiny and the Destiny franchise for these next gen of consoles because the console itself would have been powerful enough to handle what the level of gameplay and everything that the new generations of console would have been able to handle. 343 would then proceed to do Halo Combat Evolved. This was just a remaster of the original. So we don't actually have to talk unless you guys want to depth about Halo Combat Evolved. But I guess my question for this topic is, were you blown away by this title graphically and with the enhanced visuals and audio from what you remember from your childhood? Because the one claim to fame that this game had, other than the completely enhanced graphics, the completely revitalized audio, was with a single flick of a button, you can go from new graphics to the old graphics. Does anybody have anything that they wanted to kind of touch on topic about when it came to Halo Combat Evolved? And
Honestly, I don't remember if I picked this one up or not. This was at a time where as soon as I kind of felt... So, like, Halo Reach was the game that I kind of played. Mm-hmm. But when it first came out, I'm just like, man, really? Like, it just started to become competitive because they just released Halo 3 ODST the year before, and so it started to feel like they were getting more, even though, like, when I'm looking at the release date, it's been every 2 years that Bungie released games, and which, as I'm looking, they're kind of about the same, but it just started to feel more commercialized, and I kind of see why it looks like Bungie. This is the reason why Bungie left, because Microsoft was like, we have a franchise here, let's maximize this. And that could be because of like COG and Gears of War and all these other games that are just constantly putting out sequels, and these sequels are like almost every year. And I think Bungie was like, no, we're not doing this.
Yeah, I'm not too certain about the specifics, or more specifically, I don't remember. I think it was a little bit to do with that, but also a notable amount was I think Microsoft just wanted to go try a different direction, and so 343s, and I'm sure there's other stuff that we're not touching on. But with this game, I think, if you played the Master Chief Collection, it was there.
Yeah.
So if you played that and you actually played the first one, you played it. It was nifty being able to switch between the graphics so fast. I think there was even an achievement for it on the Master Chief Edition.
Yes.
Yeah, on every single map.
Yep.
Yeah. But other than that, it was nice, but it actually changed some functionality features if you switched. Like, there would be a boulder or a tree that was in one version but not the other. Yep. Or you could actually kind of fit into an area in one version outside of the other. So there was some interesting parts to it, but all in all, it's just a nice looking revamp to a game that we already had, and that we can at least play on on new console. But like I think one of the biggest things about it was that you got access to Halo 4 beta if you bought it.
Yes.
Yeah, so that was one of their drawing points. There's no longer, hey, sign up for it, or it's just open because, we're not going to be D-bags.
Mm-hmm.
No, you got to buy this game that you probably own just so you can hit the toggle button in order to try our beta. But I didn't fall for it. I just waited for Halo 4 because I knew I was going to get it anyways.
Yeah.
I just want to say how cool it is that you're in control of that over there, because I don't know why I'm so mesmerized by that right now.
Oh, like when Irish went to go drink, I muted his mic. I raised his volume down instead of muting him. And then when he went back, I undid it. So.
It is nice. Like, really nice addition.
Yeah. Well, so when we sidetrack real fast. So when we first started talking about podcasts, this was actually the money that I got from stimulus check was what it went to, was this and a mic. Because I was like, we're doing a podcast? All right.
I'm on it.
Let's do this. Because that was my plan, was eventually for us to meet up once COVID, post-COVID, to start doing this and, sometimes I overachieve. And this was something that was a little bit cheaper, but for what we do and for what it is, I was just like, yeah, I'm going to pick this up. So.
Well, I don't think anybody here is going to have a complaint about the Rivas family supporting the podcast experience. It was, just a dumb idea between two of us, and then Ronnie comes in and was just like, hang on.
Well, it wasn't really like that. It was mainly like, hey, like...
You wanted it done professionally.
Well,
if you're going to do it, you should do it right.
If you're going to do it right.
Yeah, it was a little bit of that, but it was also like, hey, let's, like, nothing wrong against other people with mics and stuff like that, and, their setup and everything. But it's just like how my brain works. I'm like, I'm already thinking ahead. But we can touch on that after.
It becomes more expensive in the long run if you have to keep buying better stuff. Yeah. I think the same way.
Moving on, the next game in the franchise, which is actually now featured on the screen for you guys, is going to be Halo 4. This was the first Halo game. So when the Xbox One was announced and debuted for everybody to kind of like just have and to be able to purchase, one of the things that a lot of video game companies and video games were doing was, if you bought a version of a game on the 360 that was also released on the Xbox One, you were able to either, if you bought it digitally anyways, I can't remember if you physical copies, you were able to get the next version of it either at a price or for free. I can't remember.
A little bit of both. It depended on the game.
Yeah, I think it was like depending on certain circumstances. But so this was one of those games. Halo 4 was one of the few games that released on both the Xbox One and the Xbox 360. And it featured what we're gonna go ahead and call, I'm just gonna call it the prequel sequel effect. We all agree that Halo's story with John 117 was 1, 2, 3. We had a bonus with ODST. We had a bonus episode with Halo Reach. That was the end of the story as we knew. Shouldn't have been any more conflict. Well, but 343 and Bungie was like, I want more. Like Ronnie was saying, we need more. We're paying for a buck. So introduced here Halo 4. Now I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna rely on Zach for the next, or Zach and Ronnie, I think, for the next 3, because I'm gonna be honest. I don't know anything about the Halo story after Halo 3. And Halo 4 came out November 6, 2012 by 343, and it featured John 117 after the events of Halo 3. And if you don't know the events of Halo 3, go play the game or YouTube it, because everyone's on YouTube now. So, Ronnie, Zach, take it away. Halo 4.
From what I remember, I think this was the first one I picked up right before my youngest, because he was born in 2008. So this is 4 years after. So I think I did pick this one up. And I was not probably a big fan of it. It was kind of like, Honestly, this is what I thought. Oh, hold on. Hold on. This is what I thought.
Round 2.
You can always keep those volumes up.
Yeah. That's honestly what I thought about the game. Like, I didn't care for it.
Yeah, if you really enjoyed pretty much everything before here, it did kind of suck. It took inspiration from Reach and kind of went its own direction with it, which I can appreciate that from a functionality perspective. They actually made, if I remember correctly, you could actually sprint without it having to be an armor ability. Like a super trained soldier that's genetically or physically enhanced, and like you could actually run. Like what? I mean, I know the armor is heavy, but it also has like power motors or whatever to help you move. So that was nice. There were functionality improvements across the board. The enemies, the new set of enemies were interesting. It was a dynamic between them. If you had 1, 2, or all 3 different types of new enemies, not including like more difficult versions of themselves, it created a different dynamic in how you had to fight them. And if you didn't know the proper order and you didn't engage them properly, it was a drawn-out fight, and you'll probably end up losing if you did it on a higher difficulty. So I appreciated that. Like, you couldn't just throw grenades at a watcher, or I'm gonna keep calling them watchers. I can't remember if it's watcher or defender. To try and hit them or anybody around them, because they'll grab it, spin it around, and then throw it back at you.
Yeah.
So if you wanted to throw grenades, you had to take them out first. If you take out the knight first, they can be responded by the watcher. Watchers being spawned generally by knights or just automatically existing. Crawlers, you gotta get headshot. Like it was a dynamic. Like I appreciated that. However, that's about where the positivity ends. Other than the weapons, the railgun was pretty cool, but
the laser beam thing that they dropped was actually pretty interesting.
Yeah, the new weaponry was pretty cool. I didn't want to go too in depth because I could go a long time on each individual weapon. But the story it felt like they went for a more cinematic one, but I don't know. It just didn't really.
It didn't feel the same.
It didn't hit right.
Yeah.
Like if I never played any of the other ones and I just played that story, I think I'd appreciate it. Like the Mantis scene or the Mantis one was kind of fun. It was super easy unless you're on the hardest difficulty, in which case you actually had to put a little bit of effort into it, if you ask me. But, like, yeah, a lot of, like, that was the game that I jumped into it on heroic. 1 or 2 missions in, I was like, this shit's easy. Like, I just went back, started on legendary, and beat the entire thing through. So it was probably one of the easiest Halos that I've played.
Also, your skills over the years have grown, so
Well, yeah,
they were a little bit. I'll give you that much.
When we talk about games like this, especially like Disney or things like this, the comment, your audience has grown up, tends to come up.
Yeah, I mean, I won't deny that, but even in that context, I still feel like it was still pretty easy. Like there was a lot of ways that I could. I guess the concept is cheese.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was. Yeah.
So like beam rifle hiding. It's just a matter of wearing them down slowly on the gondola ride. But I digress. Yeah, it was just I don't know. It just didn't. It didn't feel right.
Well, I think this was also 360's first, because this was Windows' actual game company, and this was their and this was like their big like, all right, we have this major title, let's push it.
Yeah.
And so, like I said, it just didn't feel the same. And I think even though still coming into it, like not knowing, like you were saying, not playing any of the other games, it probably would have been good for that. But just knowing everything with I don't know everything with the franchise. I just know a lot of the story arc with what's within the game.
Yeah.
So it was interesting.
But I will say that compared to Halo 4, overall, I'd still give it about a medium score, maybe slightly above medium, comprehensively. But the truly worst part about 343's takeover, if you will, in my opinion, would have to be the changes they did transitioning from Halo 4 to Halo 5. Yeah. Just whether it's story, functionality of like things in the game, weapons, like enemy types. Oh, it's just terrible. Awful.
Speaking,
to say it nicely.
Speaking of horrible transitions from Halo 4 to 5.
Oh,
we're not even there.
We're not even there.
Yeah.
So like you guys had said, I'm gonna go ahead and skim over a few of the ones that released between Halo 4 and Halo 5 because I don't think people realize that there's a 3-year gap between all of that. I'm sorry, are we keeping you awake?
How about just say the names and we'll give you like a
that's what I was gonna do.
5-second synopsis.
So if I say auto fire games, you know what I'm talking about?
Mobile app ones.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
So the first one on the list, which released in July 18th, 2013, was a game called Halo Spartan Assault. It was a top-down viewing arcade game that was released for the it was mobile, Microsoft Windows, and 360.
Yeah, it was just pretty much them trying to capitalize on the title.
Mm-hmm.
Which Microsoft tends to do. And like a lot of times, like with their Windows phones, they miss the mark, unfortunately.
Yeah, because I think this was the time of Windows 7?
Yes.
Yeah, it was about the transition time when they were about to transition out.
Yeah. Because if it was on Windows 8, then because that was their big push for mobile was Windows 8.
Yeah, and they didn't even have the game on PC until nobody cared about it.
Yeah.
It was already like trash.
Oh no, I actually remember being excited about this game because I was like, okay, good. They're trying to right their wrongs and everything. Hopefully it's something good. And then it's like, all right, it's only on the phone.
They Final Fantasy VII does. Expanded universe.
Go ahead and mute him. The next game that released on November 11, 2014 was Halo 2 Anniversary. Now, I'm going to mention it next, but Halo 343 was heavy in this thing of remastering all of their games because they saw the success with Halo Combat Evolved Anniversary, and they're just like, man, we can keep doing this. And that's exactly what they did with Halo 2 Anniversary.
This was the Master Chief Collection.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Which actually is the next thing that on the list, as far as Google is concerned, was Halo Master Chief Collection. Bungie really, really liked the Halo. It really liked remastering them. So they were like, what if we put every Halo game in one spot?
343.
Whatever. Yeah. They're like, what if we just put it all in one spot for everyone to find and just remaster all of our games? And that's exactly what they did. And all of their Halos now, if you have the Master Chief Collection, they're found in that one hub, that one video game title.
I'll say it's a bit awkward, the whole game, if you will. First of all, huge download. Like, it was 100-something, like, I think 150 to 200, because all the games, especially after they added ODST, Halo 2 Remastered. I think it didn't ship with that initially. It had to come later. Reach was one of the last ones that came. So it got really, really big. And the multiplayer aspect of it wasn't, okay, pick the game. All right, you want to play that multiplayer? Okay, we're going to hook you up because we know you're here for the nostalgia. It's no. We're going to have one that's inspired by 4, but slightly tweaked, I think. If I remember correctly, I really didn't play that much of it because I just hated it. It was just so bad. I'd rather go and play 4, just straight up.
Yeah.
It's just really awkward. And then the customization, it was like, okay, pick your Halo, and then all right, now you can customize it, but not quite how you could customize it when you were originally there. We're gonna give you a kind of similar options, but it's not going to be fulfilling in the same way, and the nostalgia is going to be really base.
Yeah, this was one of the ones I know I was just like, no.
Yeah.
It was, yeah.
But that's just the multiplayer. The story itself, because as I've said multiple times probably, for Halo, the core thing is the story.
Yeah.
The multiplayer is fun, and that's what keeps you there, but the story is like the centerpiece of Halo. So the stories were there, they were functional, they were eventually upgraded for a couple of them, and that aspect of it, which is the only part I cared about. And I played with Game Boy a few times. We were trying to beat it all on Legendary, but things fell through the cracks. But that experience was there, as well as it could be, because the remakes were ported up in like the hardware accelerations and stuff just didn't translate well sometimes.
So when did the Master Chief Collection come out again?
2014.
Yeah.
14?
November 11th, 2014.
Okay, so I picked it up. I think I picked it up in probably 2015. But I went through and was playing through Halo 3, and like it was just crazy how I remembered where some of the skulls were going through the levels.
Yeah.
And it's like I haven't played this game in probably 10 years, and I still remember exactly where they're at.
First question: did you go see the Neanderthal?
Oh, are you talking about the wait, is that the monkey with the face of the developer?
No, it's the family.
It's the I think I did.
Yeah, no, there's like a monkey with the face of the developer, and there's like a couple other smaller ones. Like, okay,
Yeah,
Of
it's first drop in 3 as you start coming around the bend down the sniper alley. You jump up onto the left side and it's up in the rocks.
So
If you
funny thing
drop down, you've gone too far.
Yep.
So I remember going in there and I'm like, okay, I don't remember what it is, but I know there's something over here.
Yep.
But also, since this is basically all of the game's remakes, we talk in depth about remakes, episodes 2 and 4. So be sure to check those out if you haven't listened to them already.
I love how you plug that.
Yeah, I was gonna say what a selfish plug.
Shameless.
Whatever.
That reminds me of something about Halo 3. It's an Easter egg that I found I never found anything on the internet about it, but I also never posted because I was a kid. On the last level, when you're going through the snow, you haven't reached the flood or anything yet.
Yeah.
There's a turn in, and in there's a section that like just drop. You just die. I remember once wondering if there was anything in there, so I went into Forge mode after like letting it run for a while, so I had a lot of role to play with, and I kept searching around from different angles just seeing if I could find something, and I found something that literally gave me chills every time I thought about it. It was like a ghost, like a pixel thick or so, and you could only see it from like a certain angle. And it just kept like doing that. It was a silhouette of somebody, but it was just all like white. And it just gave me chills. I could never find anything online about it. It's been a while since I've looked, though.
Yeah, I would have to look at that because I remember the whole. And it's like, what the hell's there? This here
that was
for?
The only thing I could find in there. But there was something, and it was there if I checked again or a different load. So it wasn't just like a one-time glitch.
It wasn't just a glitch.
Yeah. I always felt proud that I found that. But yeah, it gave me chills the first time I saw it. I was like, what the?
You know what? Actually, I think I have the game.
I think I can't remember if I checked on anniversary or on the anniversary Master Chief Collection, whatever. But I think it should be in there.
All right.
But I digress.
The next game to probably a passable mention, but still mention because it was a major release, Halo Spartan Strike. This was a sequel to Halo Spartan Assault, that top-down view game that released for Windows, iOS, and the Windows Phone. This one did not release on the Xbox One. This was solely released on mobile devices in the Microsoft Windows Store.
Yeah, I just did not even touch it. When you see one dumpster fire, you've seen them all.
I haven't even heard of this one until about 10 seconds ago.
I think I've heard about this one. Yeah, I've heard about it. It was by that time like I stopped giving a care about the.
It wasn't
games.
worth the attempt, in my opinion. So
Keep it up,
trash.
you're gonna be the
Moving
next
on
bit.
to greener and better.
So
pictures.
now we're going back to the main games,
Good.
and which goes to the one that's on your screen now. This is going to be releasing October 27th, 2015, Halo 5 Guardians. Now this is a game that featured a protagonist and heroic antagonist. And what I mean by that is, in this story, I vaguely know him, for
Locke.
whatever reason, Commander Locke is hunting down Spartan 117 and his team for reasons. Yeah, I'm gonna let one.
I
Yeah.
remember, but I'll let you keep going.
No, I'm directing it to
So,
you because I
The
don't.
reason why he was Locke was chasing after them with their group, which Bucky, I think his name was
Buck, yeah.
Buck. He makes a comeback. He's now a Spartan because the new program after in 4 for the new Spartans was, we can do this with regular people. We don't have to kidnap you as a baby and change your life. So we
Told
can
you
work with
his story
ODSTs.
was backed up.
Yeah, no. Those of you that survive can have a chance to become Spartans. No, this mass producing them. So, anyways, he comes back. Everybody loves him. So, but nonetheless, they go after Master Chief because he went AWOL. Master Chief is looking for Cortana because he believes she's still alive, in spite of her succumbing to rampancy at the end of Halo 4 to save the day, basically. I'm not going to go into too much detail for that. So yeah, he's searching for her with his squad of Spartans, like OG of Spartans, not these new up and coming young bucks. No relation to the wrestling group. So that's why they're chasing after him.
Anybody got anything they want to talk about with this?
I actually bought this one too.
Yeah.
My youngest was actually old enough to actually play this one.
Your oldest, you mean?
My oldest was actually. Sorry, he was young at the time.
Yeah, this was
Well, he was your one and
2015,
only at the
so
time.
that was 6 years ago.
Yeah, so he was old enough to play this one. So this was one that I actually bought him. It was okay. I mean, he played it through. I didn't really care for the story.
If this one came out as a separate entity, I know I've been saying this a lot, but and 4 didn't happen first, wouldn't have been too bad. It would have been a little bit, a fair bit confusing following 3 or Reach, but like mechanic-wise, enemy-wise, their choices wouldn't have been too bad. But 4 did happen, and that's why when you start changing how guns work in between the two without any real reason, it's one thing if you just get rid of dual wielding. I mean, it kind of is annoying, what Bungie did, but at the same time, it made sense. But this one, changing weapon types, I'm just broad stroking it so I don't take too long. Changing enemy types, adding enemies are one thing, but changing how they function without any real context or reason, namely the knights, what's going on? They used to be like a challenge. They used to be almost a mini boss if you got a mid tier or a high tier knight, where you'd have to shoot out the balls on the back and expose them. You can assassinate them. Now it's just all right, got you in the face enough. You're gone. That's basically what it felt like. The soldiers that came in kind of just didn't feel needed. They're just mini knights that were weaker and I think a little faster. I think it just, and the story was kind of convoluted, yeah, because you're like, okay, we're with Group A, we're with Master Chief. All right, this didn't work out. All right, so what's going on with Locke? All right, he's on the trail. Cool. Okay, got it. Took out this alien. All right, let's go back to Master Chief. Still looking. Okay, didn't work. All right, fine. Locke. Yeah, no, they're getting closer, and they're actually growing up to him, but they got their asses whooped because the OG Spartans are the OG Spartans, and you don't just fuck up Master Chief unless he wants you to.
Right.
He never wants you to. And yeah, just
yeah. I mean, that was kind of the same thing as I watched him play it. I think I played it for a little bit. I actually beat the boss for him.
Oh yeah,
because the end boss was actually pretty crazy.
That was the one great thing that they added to it, was that end boss was actually like Halo 4. That wasn't a boss battle.
No,
that was get to the end and enjoy the cutscene. Make sure you tap X when it tells you to. That was literally it. But this one, they actually gave us a boss battle. I have to give it credit on that.
Moving on to the next one is going to be Halo Wars 2. Now, every once in a while you get a game where, it was so great the first time. Let's do that again. And here you have Halo Wars 2. I can't remember off the top of my head whether or not there was anything like fantastic about this game. But yeah, Halo Wars 2. Anybody remember it?
I remember, and I gave a rat's butt about it.
Yeah, I didn't touch this one.
I downloaded it, and then when I was about to play it, I thought to myself, I haven't even beaten Halo Wars, the first one, on the hardest difficulty. Should I really start this one? And I ended up downloading like 2 or 3 times, telling myself I'd do it. I think I even loaded it up and got to the press A to actually start the campaign, and I never got around to it. So I know pretty much nothing about the story about this. I have no information or context about whether or not it's good. It's a Halo game.
It's a Halo game.
They had another developer that wasn't 343 or Bungie make an interesting type of game. I kudos you.
So we've essentially caught up now. We're in 2021.
So
Hopefully.
on my list, actually, Halo. There was talk about Halo Recruit, which was 2017.
Wait, I think I remember something about that.
Yeah, I can't find the actual details on it because it doesn't have a hyperlink. And then 2018, there was Halo Fireteam Raven.
No, I was gonna skip that one.
And we're talking about all the Halos, okay?
Come on, man.
Gosh. And then now that brings up us to what we're going to talk about currently.
So we've essentially gone through all the Halos. There's not much we could talk about anymore as far as Halos that have released. And the only one left to talk about is the one that's going to release. That's going to be Halo Infinite. It's supposed to be the release in fall of 2021, and it's supposed to be... This would have been Halo 6, essentially the final game in the second trilogy. And it, again, goes back to you being Spartan 117. The game had boasts several times. I wonder if that's just me reverberating in this. The game has boasted a free roam aspect, kind of like the Division. Areas you can go to, instances you can engage with. And the multiplayer is going to be free to play. It also boasts that it's going to be free on Game Pass when it releases. So rather than ask you, have you played it? Because obviously no one's played it.
Oh, I've played it.
I'm signed up for the beta.
Okay, I guess I should have asked that. Has anybody signed up for the beta, and have you played it? What are your thoughts when you first got into the beta?
Yeah, my future self that when the game
Beta's
came out.
not out yet. I'm just signed up for it, not actually like.
So what
Yeah,
is your
giving it to us.
expectations when it comes to this Halo story and multiplayer? A lot of people don't care about the story. They just want to play the multiplayer, and that's going to be free, and that's fair. But there's a lot of people that care about the story. What is your expectation?
I've been answering first a lot, so I'll take a back seat on this one.
Let's go with Mike.
So as far as story expectation, I'm hoping that. Well, I haven't really played 4 or 5. So going back to having played 2 and 3 and Reach, and I think I played a little bit of ODST. I'm hoping that it's just an awesome, compelling story. But like to me, it won't really because I don't know what happened in 4 and 5. I mean, I could probably look it up online if I'm so motivated. But I think it would be. I probably will if I end up doing the story because I'll probably end up. Well, I'll definitely do the multiplayer since that's going to be free. But I think it would. I'm hoping it advances the story and has a compelling story as to kind of like what the other ones have had.
You guys looking forward to Halo Warzone?
David.
There's not going to be a battle royale. I'm calling it right now.
Not yet, or they haven't announced anything. I honestly, at this point, I wouldn't be too surprised. It's the curse of our video game generation.
Just in right now. Yeah.
I would not be surprised if they announced a battle royale mode for Halo. However, I know I have it on good authority that they're not gonna release battle royale mode. They've put too many of their resources into perfecting the story of this game. They're perfecting the multiplayer, making sure that the beta and the servers are up and running. They're not gonna release it. they were talking about the same thing with Battlefield. Battlefield having a battle royale mode, but if we know anything about Battlefield, it's a team-based game.
Yeah.
You know, with
Squad, yeah.
with Halo, there's an infinite number of directions you could take it to try and make it a battle royale mode, but I don't think they're going to. This is our new mascot, by the way.
You can't see him. He's short.
Yeah. As far as story expectation is concerned, I want the story to conclude.
The gondola is useless.
Yeah, exactly. I want the story to conclude. I'm not going to say I don't care, but like John's story ended once already for us.
Yeah.
It should have ended once and for all then. I shouldn't have to play a story, expect an ending, and then go, oh, wait, but he was lost in space, and here he is again.
Right, even if he went into cryo, which he wasn't even in there that long, because it takes 8 years for an AI to undergo rampancy.
Yeah.
I don't remember exactly how long they were in there, but she definitely hit that mark, obviously. So they weren't there that long, and then they just happened upon a Forerunner shield planet that happens to hold the Diadact. Like, what?
The story was just rushed way too much.
Yeah.
I mean, and even then, just like, I saw the trailer for this one, and just kind of the commentary between it. Just a heads up, it's pretty much Master Chief had a baby with Cortana.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm not surprised.
That's the way it feels.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah,
No, it's the trailer.
Yeah, this is sanctioned spoilers.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if people haven't seen them,
Well,
I mean, if you're really that,
right.
if they really care
The
about
people that are under
trailers that
rocks.
much, I mean, maybe you deserve the spoiler. I'm just saying maybe, because like it's a trailer. Come on,
yeah,
it's
it's
been out for like what, a couple months.
yeah, I think so.
I think it came out at, did it come out at E3?
E3, I think.
Yeah, I think so. I know there was another one that was released too. I don't remember.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just hope this is a saga, and I just hope that they finish it. So
Yeah, I have hope, but I don't have expectation. I'm used to being let down, so I think I could take one more for the Team Halo.
all right,
Nobody had any thoughts on the Halo Infinite multiplayer?
Oh, multiplayer. I meant,
It's a
I was talking
multiplayer.
for the story. The multiplayer, they've been pretty good about like changing things. 3/Reach to 4 positive, because Reach didn't even have battle rifles. But like 4 to 5, that was pretty trash. So
Yeah.
honestly, I have hope, but I don't have expectation.
yeah. So what was our honorable mention again?
Yeah, you were going to do the honorable mention.
Oh, shit. Forgot about that.
And then we have to
Halo
discuss the
2600
punishment,
or
right?
something.
Oh yeah, and then we have to discuss the punishment.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
getting,
Well, we were
getting a
supposed to
little
do that at
penis
the end of the gaming news episode that we just
Oh,
did,
yeah.
and you didn't.
Well, because you just remembered it right now.
Well, we can record a separate thing.
Okay.
And then
You can tack it on.
Yeah, I could tack it on. No
Yep.
problem.
Throw the ad in and then do that.
Oh yeah, might as well.
Well, normally he does that
Okay.
at the beginning.
Okay. So
Okay.
the honorable mention was Halo 2600. It was a 2010 action-adventure game that was developed by Ed Fries and published by Atari Age for the Atari 2600. It was a video game console released in 1977. It's not an official game that released as far as any mention of, like, through... Oh, hang on. Wait. What?
Oh, what's that in your search history? No, but
I watch porn. I don't hide
What are
it.
you doing, Step Bro?
I don't hide it. But that's essentially what the game looked
Stop.
like.
Oh man, that's like
Stuck on this game. Hey, you want to play like Legend of Zelda, Halo?
man that's bad.
Right,
Mhm.
When was it released?
July
2010.
2010.
Jeez.
right. The tri-piece.
I think wasn't 2010 when we actually started to go back to like the 8-bit and 16-bit.
A bit, if you don't count Minecraft, because it has been out for a
Yeah.
while. That was probably a rough time for when it began
Yes.
becoming in. I almost said in season, in popularity.
Yeah, because I think a lot of indie games.
Terraria.
I know Oh, and we can't not mention Red versus Blue with Halo.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Honorable mention.
Well, so
Rooster
that's
Teeth and
what I was
Achievement
gonna discuss here a little bit. That kind of popped off with
I meant to mention this.
I mean, they
with
built
Halo
each
2 and
other
3.
largely.
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, we touched on it with Griffball, but we by no means did those content creators justice.
Yeah, versus Blue, I think also kind of, which is what blew up a lot of Halo, especially community. I was always Church.
You killed Church. You team killing Victor.
No, Sheila, that's Church. Target acquired.
Why are there 6 pedals and only 4 directions?
Oh man, those
Good times.
yeah, those were awesome.
I could still go back.
Yeah, but
and watch
like,
all that.
Yeah.
much like what we've kind of, the lesson we've derived here is that much like the games, the audience grew up with them, and now Red versus Blue is essentially pretty gritty.
Oh, it.
Which I appreciate.
I love.
I like darker
yeah.
everything.
There's n-
So I was gonna mention other appearances the Halo characters appeared in or was tied in. Dead or Alive 4, Killer Instinct Season 3. Master Chief was added as a playable character in Fortnite alongside stages inspired by Halo multiplayer in 2020.
Yeah, I picked up the Master Chief skin.
Don't forget that Master Chief was also 2 times, maybe more, but at least 2 times, a playable skin in Minecraft. Halo 4 and Halo 3, basically.
Yeah. The Halo theme tune was available for downloaded content for Guitar Hero 3 Legends of Rock.
I forgot about that. I downloaded that.
Oh, I downloaded it too. I can't even say this damn name. What's the
Forza Horizon.
Forza Horizon, one level, whatever the fuck was.
Forza Horizon.
All right, Sean Connery.
Was a player racing across the map in the Warthog as Master Chief with the ring
Warthog.
visible in the sky, katana on the radio, and various Covenant-based objects to avoid.
So you want to talk about Forza Horizon, Sean?
Forza Horizon.
Forza Horizon.
Oh, also with Fortnite, they did have an emote that you can get where your character, whatever skin you're dressed as, it's like a little kiddie ride warthog, and it's a traversal emote, so you can drive around your little warthog.
So
Welcome to the Rock.
the first book came out in 2001.
Did it?
Yeah,
I thought there was
Halo: The Fall of Reach.
Huh.
In
I thought there was a book series before that.
No, that's what the book said. Our Evolution, the collection, it does say the collection was simultaneously released, printed, and audiobooked, formatted in November 2009. But from what I can see on the books, it says 2001 was the first one. Comic book, graphic novel was released 2006. Marvel announced one in 2009. A couple live action movies. I don't know if you've seen some of these.
I've seen one. I think it was
The one with the cadets, right? Then there was another one with
I think one
Commander
of them's
Locke
on
in
like
real
Netflix
life.
or something.
Yeah,
The one with Locke is on Netflix. The one with the cadets, I can't remember the name of either one of these, was a special release if you pre-ordered, I want to say 4, or you bought the Legendary Edition of 4. It came with it, and you could watch it either as a download or on their app that they had at the time, Waypoint.
Yep. Halo 4 Forward
Forward unto Dawn.
Onto Dawn.
Yes, that's the one I've seen.
Yeah.
5 roughly 15-minute episodes, which the pilot, early days of the Human Covenant War, 2020 or 25-26. And then there was Nightfall, which was 2014. I'm trying to remember.
Nightfall was the one with the cadets.
When the Spartans betrayed to cover the Halo Guardians. Yeah. And then Paramount is TV series.
Animated.
Yeah. Was May 21st, 2013. A live action TV series produced by Steven Spielberg.
Yeah.
It was announced that the series will be released in 2021. Filming officially began in 2019. In November 2020, it is reported that whatever this name had been recasted as the role of Katana, who voiced Katana in every major game in the franchise.
So, if Avatar: The Last Airbender has taught us anything about live action adaptations of otherwise animated material, I don't have a lot of faith in this one.
Well, we also don't have M. Night Shyamalan.
Yeah.
I can't.
Shyamalan. Yeah.
I'm so happy that you guys are connected on that one name.
It's thanks to a local radio show. That's what they call them.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think that's it. This is a one of those games that's actually, I think, spanned a generation. That's like for a lot of kids, especially when you're transferring systems and everything. And like I said, the era of Bungie, because after they left this, they went to
343.
No,
No,
you're
no,
talking about
Destiny.
Bungie going to Destiny.
Yeah, Destiny, and you can really do see a lot of the Destiny elements in here. And Destiny has a pretty decent following to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So.
Like, I really enjoyed it until they made 2 free to play.
Mm.
But even then, 2 was starting to get like, wait, what's going on? Why do you keep changing things, and why is it getting worse? But this is not a Destiny
Exactly.
episode. That'll maybe be another day. I'd be down because I played the shit out of Destiny 1.
That would be an episode just related to you.
Yeah, that would be. I've played.
That's your piece of
Welcome
the
to
trip.
like
the Z
2 hours
corner.
at. I've played 2 hours of Destiny.
I think we need to change that piece of the experience
Yeah, I was thinking about that.
Yeah,
because we're not a
'cause
Triforce anymore.
I have
Yeah.
messed
Needs to
up
be a
the
quad
great
force.
reference.
Well,
it doesn't sound.
every
Like
Triforce
Yeah.
has a center.
I just say piece of
Am I
or
the
piece of
glue?
the experience. I like the piece of the experience, but
Okay.
We'll talk about that later.
yeah.
Brainstorm this. Work
All
in
right.
progress.
So now, come on.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, my God.
Technical
New-
difficulties.
New to this, hold on.
Tease it.
Tease it.
Tease
What?
it.
Oh my gosh!
Fast forward
Oh,
it to
you-
30 seconds.
I had it.
Just the tip of the song.
No, it's
Anyway, everybody, thank you for joining us on this episode as we discussed the Halo franchise in its entirety. If you haven't already, please check out the Linktree and follow us on all the links you see down below. We never ask for 5 stars, but go ahead and feel free to give us anything that you feel we deserve. We appreciate all the follow and support that we get. Please make sure you tune it back into us regularly for pre-scheduled episodes on every Friday, as well as gaming news every Monday/Tuesday. We're going to be back with you Monday with more gaming news, as well as more pre-scheduled episodes every Friday. Yeah, thank you, Anchor, for distributing the podcast everywhere you see it. Check out the Linktree to see where those podcast episodes are distributed. I've been here with
Irishguy, aka Mike.
Doc.
And Zmainia.
I'm Game Boy. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Catch you next week. Stay safe, stay healthy, and thank you for listening to the show.